up here tonight with the Ramsey boys at the BNR headquarters. Fellas, do you want to introduce yourself and tell us what it's about?
Yeah, good evening, Scotty. How you going, mate? Good to see you again. My name's Tate Ramsey, the driver of Reckless, and this is Blake, who drives Destiny, and we make up the Ramsey racing team. My son, he races as well in the 25 horsepower class in another boat called Reckless. So I've been racing for about 8 years now, and my first campaign was in the 4.2 litre class, and that was a fair old baptism of fire, that was. So that was a tough class to race in, but a good way to learn the craft of boat racing. Raced in that class for a couple of years and then stepped up to the 6 litre class. I bought this boat here off Blake and ran a Dodge NASCAR spec 6 litre engine for a couple of years, and we enjoyed some good success with that boat. We managed to win the Trojan Trophy and the Jack Kavanagh Memorial, and along with the Stuart Doyle as well. So a lot of fun in that class and very competitive. So I've owned, as I mentioned, the Reckless boat for probably 5 or 6 years now. It's an 18'6" child's play, retrofitted with a Malcolm Jamison cell. We run blown big block, injected big blocks built by Brett Nidgery of BNR Engines. He does the build and the fit out of both our boats, and he's got some good support with Josh and many others in his camp.
And Blake, what about yourself, mate?
So I started out, as Tate mentioned, I bought this boat off Nathan Wyatt. Actually, it was blown crazy, and before that, Matty Stone owned it. It was a sucker punch boat. As it went, I actually bought it the week I got married. I bought a Dodge out of the States, and I was over in New Zealand for work and hooked up with Malcolm Jamison and arranged for him to fly over here and put the cell in. So I ran that for 18 months and then took a bit of a break because I purchased another boat, which just so happened to be of an ex-Matty Stone boat as well, the MSC Signs Blown Light, that became Strong Brew, which had a Ford 5 litre in it, and then I arranged for Brett to drop a blown motor in it and have a bit of fun. So I've been running the blown boat for just on 2 years now, and starting to get a little bit comfortable with it, and Brett has provided us with a brilliant package that has proven to be really reliable and something that I can try and step up and drive.
Well, it sounds like you're having fun on the racetrack, of course, and it obviously, going back to Yarrawonga, there was a great race between the two of you guys. I'm sure you can elaborate a little bit about that one. Don't know who wanted to win the most, because by the looks of it, you both were on flat knacker.
Yeah, I guess it was just one of those races, nothing on the line in terms of trophies, but everything on the line when it came to family rivalry and bragging rights. But being out there in that race, knowing Tate was there by my side, I knew I had room. I knew he'd leave me enough room, and that it'd just be a good competitive show.
Geez, I'm a good big brother, aren't I? Giving him plenty of room. Had every chance to beat him up, but I let him go. That was a lot of fun. I haven't actually laughed that hard during a race for 3 laps. Just it was gunnel to gunnel, and there was just nothing between it. It was just a lot of fun, and I'm sure it gave the spectators a fair old buzz. And it was good value.
It was really good to watch, I can tell you that. There was a lot of people watching and commenting about it, how good that race really was. Fellas, roughly from your house, what do you reckon the guesstimation is to travel to Adelaide?
Oh, look, my lunatic of a transporter driver, he'll do it express. He'll be there in 7.5 hours, and we'll be in the car just trying to keep up with him. So, the plan is to leave early Friday morning, get over there to Adelaide, get set up, and have a practice in the afternoon.
Are the two of you guys travelling together, or is there
any
other
No, we're not,
teams?
Scott, but it's good you asked that question. How are you getting there, Blake?
I'm going to FIFO, actually. I've got a driver arranged, a transporter arranged. All I need to do is get myself to the airport, and hopefully there'll be someone there waiting at the other side to take me to the racetrack.
a tough gig for some.
Now, fellas, the Ramsey fellas, you've been around racing for a while. Obviously, you've got to have some idols, someone that you looked up to in the past.
Yeah, go, you're right. Go.
I think for mine, there's quite a few. You know, there's been some great races that have come before us. For me, Tony Walsh is the one that I really look up to, and probably Rob Pasala as well, because not only could they drive, you know, and they were at the pointy end of the field, they contributed to the sport and they go back to the sport, and that's something that I really look up to them for.
Yeah, well, my memories of boat racing go back a fair way, and especially Yarrawonga. We watched Dad race there, and there was, you know, guys that, you know, the Warren Jameses, the Bill Babbittons, you know, Bob Thurgers, Lee Kavanagh. It goes on. They were fantastic to watch. You know, and they were the old school, old day racers, and, you know, current times. Obviously, Mark Gauci, he's been one that we watch very closely. We love the way he goes about it. We'd certainly love to emulate what he's achieved in the sport, and we're very determined to do so. You know, and you know, Brett Shepherd and the list goes on. There's some very good quality current day drivers and boats as well.
There most certainly is. Fellas, going into this weekend coming up, who would be someone that you'd be most fearful on the racetrack besides each other?
Look, I think I'm not fearful of anyone in particular. I think there's some great competition out there. I really think that, you know, I think there's 13 odd blown boats entered, plus a stack of great 6 litres. I think anyone on their day can win the race, and it really doesn't matter who's there in your heat or in the final. Everyone's just another number, and you know, I try to focus on just racing myself, just trying to get around the course as quick as you can.
Yeah, I'm just excited for the challenge. I love being challenged. Always probably thoroughly enjoyed being the underdog, and I hope that continues for me, because I just love standing toe to toe with the best of the best, and just taking them on and just measuring up against them and see how you finish up.
That's great to hear, fellas. Now, just before we end this one, is there any sponsors that you'd really like to say thanks to? Because this is what the sport's about, is patting people on the back. So who would you like to thank?
Oh, absolutely. There's a huge amount of credit goes to a lot of people and businesses that support Ramsey Racing, and for one, Brett Nidry of B&R Engines, for his time and his effort, his knowledge, his craft in building engines, setting up the boats. It's second to none. Even more blessed, you know, to say that, you know, we're proud to have him as a family friend. Yeah, there's plenty of others. Durham Transport, Geelong Truck Sales, Rob Pasala Marine, have been a good supporter of ours for quite some time. We've got a great crew. You know, there's probably 8 or 10 blokes that come with us, and albeit they do forget to come home after a night out, and it's a little bit of a concern. We've got to blow in the bag the following morning for these boys, but we managed to scrounge up a crew for the next day. But anyone that you know supports our team in any possible way, whether it's being directly involved with the boats or at a race meeting, or just, you know, the support through you know, GP Hydro live streaming and other social media streams, it's just great to have everyone on board.
Fantastic, guys. Well, the best of luck for this weekend, and let's hope for a podium finish.
No problem. Thanks, Scotty.
Thank you.
Scotty.
Ta.